Ladies and gentlemen, it has come to my attention that many salted gamers have been throwing matches in Dota 2, and Valve has contacted me personally to oversee the following case. In griefing or not griefing, this is episode 13, and we just received a case. Now I'm going to need you to act as jurors here and weigh in as the evidence unfolds before us. If you find that they were particularly innocent or guilty, feel free to share. Your opinion matters, more so than in almost any other context. You need to pay close attention to details here, because sometimes people make honest-to-God mistakes. Other times, they are intentionally throwing the game. Let's have a look at this game. This is a divine level safe lane game. So for any StarCraft people here, this is like Masters to GM. Masters to GM, this is a high level game. Let's get some context here before this first marker to see what's happening, because we are 11 minutes in at the start of this one. And let's just go take it from the top. Take it from the top here and check the scoreboard. The Phantom Assassin has only died one time at this point. They have a Wraith Band, a Magic Wand, a Healing Lotus, and a Quelling Blade. And they are currently hiding in the woods.
I'll hurry my foe to his
More death.
Razor's level 5, so one level above. Okay, they use their invisibility skill. They're going to try to invisibly move their way over here. Whenever you scrub back in these replays, sometimes the trees don't load. That's just a glitch here. The Muerta is under attack. The PA doesn't really want to go in yet, though. Okay, now they're going to go start last hitting. So far, things are mostly fine. Okay, the Death Prophet is going down bottom here. That's the enemy team's mid hero, so they're a couple levels ahead of our accused player here. And we're assuming here that this person is innocent until they perform some actions that would lead us to believe otherwise. Okay. They're playing very safe here. They can't go into lane. And just for some emotional context, it feels bad when you're a safe laner and it's 7 minutes and you can't go anywhere. Okay, so they were killed and they bought back immediately, which is usually considered to be a bad move. And they're going for a Hand of Midas next. Just the recipe. Okay, they're trying to last hit here. It's a little bit tricky with that tier 2 tower. I don't know why the whole team is here. I guess they're trying to protect the PA. Okay, they're getting back to work. The buyback there I would call kind of a rager move. As the carry, there isn't really any reason to do that in the early game. So for a divine game, this player is clearly tilted. They're very clearly tilted. Now they're high-fiving. Using their slow on here. Oh no, they dropped their item on the ground! Oh, Spirit Breaker destroyed their item. Phantom Assassin just purchased 5 Sentry Wards and 2 Observer Wards. They are so upset in this game that they have reverted to their default setting, which is that of a support. Okay, this is going to be a mark against them. This is going to be a big mark against them. Now what did they do? Okay, they didn't do very well bottom, so they're going to try to check mid here. Using their high 5. Oh, they're giving wards to the enemy team. Wow. Well, just to save us all some time, I think we have all the evidence that we need. It's really interesting how weak-willed many of these high-level players are. I want to have a sit down and talk with some of them. It would be really interesting to see kind of into their thoughts in these moments of great crisis. Whenever you're playing a game for leisure and you realize you have less than 50% chance to win, what causes a person to have a mental cave-in like this, where they completely lose it and try to throw the game as hard as possible? Why? Why do they do so when you can make some pretty epic comebacks? We were just in a game before this where the enemy team was 10-0 and we ended up winning in the late game. So this PA brought a great deal of shame upon their family house and their sports coaches from school growing up. Really interesting.
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked.
If they're Divine 1, they would probably be about Divine 4. At least if their mental game was anything stronger than a wet paper towel. Actually, wet paper towel is pretty strong. Let's go with the wet single-ply toilet paper. That's probably about how strong their mindset is. And they just teleport in and feed them constantly. Give the enemy items. This is a hard throw. If I could give a double guilty, like a guilty plus, I totally would select that here. Not guilty of cheating, but super guilty of griefing. Not even an edge case. One bad thing happened and they completely folded. Shame upon them. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I used the paper towel analogy and then I was like, paper towels are sometimes stronger than towels. Thanks, paper towels. Sorry to compare you to that PA. Paper towels didn't deserve that. They could have been getting flamed in voice chat. That's true, but you have the mute and report options. So the ideal move there, if you're trying to be an honorable gamer, is you mute and report the people who flame you, and then you play the game as though they are NPCs. Where maybe they help you, maybe they don't. But your job is to play your best. You need to focus on what is in your sphere of control. Here we go. For the second round, we have a hard support life stealer who is being reported for griefing. This is a ranked game. Already, they're not going to be looking too good because this is not a support hero at all. Let's get some context for this game. Lifestealer is usually an offlane or carry. I've never seen them picked as a support a single time, and this is a legend game, so this is above average rank. This is like 70th percentile. Did they go first item hatchet? First item hatchet and gloves of haste. So they're just jungling from the very beginning, and they're leaving their safe laner defend for themselves. It's funny that it doesn't render everything. This I would probably consider to be role abuse. So the person might have gotten reported for multiple things, but the Lifestealer is not, they're not supporting. They're not helping their allies. The Lifestealer is in the woods. They're in the woods jungling, which is what the cores are supposed to do. The cores are supposed to farm. The supports are supposed to make space for the cores to farm in the early game. Wow. And they're going for a Hand of Midas first, which is also a greedy choice. So they're basically doubling down on greed instead of doing anything that would help their ally. Last night we had a Phantom Lancer support, and in the early game he actually did show up for a couple rotations and did save the team from a gank or two. But in the late game, he ended up building Hand of Midas and this trying to build carry, so we ended up reporting them for role abuse. And this may be another case. I would say that this is an instance of griefing, just by virtue of refusing to do the necessary jobs. There's a reason you have carries and supports and not just all 5 carries. And the reason is the map has limited farm, which is contested by the enemies, and you want to make sure your team can control the space to be able to utilize that farm. If you just have 5 farming heroes that all need to be supported, you can't actually farm anywhere. So this player is going to go for a Midas. We're just kind of skipping ahead here. They're getting a Midas into phase boots into a Radiance. And their team, as you might expect, is losing pretty hard in the early game because their support is playing carry. They are doing stuff, so they get some credit for using their character and whatnot, but technically speaking, this is still a pretty obvious grief. Obvious grief. Lifestealer is a core hero by all counts. They don't have a single supportive ability, and this player wasn't even doing anything that supports do in the early game either. I will agree, whoever reported them for griefing was in the right, and this Lifestealer is being found guilty of griefing their game. 2 of 2 guilty so far. Moving on to the third case here. Thank you, jurors. We haven't really needed the jury to weigh in too much because these have been pretty open and shut cases. We have had a few edge cases in griefing or not griefing. So far we had one PA who hard threw as soon as one bad thing happened. And then the second game we had a Lifestealer who basically griefed the game by not playing their assigned role. What role suggestion for first time playing? Usually support is recommended because they don't need to know how to last hit well, and your items don't matter as much. It's more about landing your spells. Okay, the IO here was reported for feeding. This is an Archon level game, so slightly lower level than the last match. Let's see what the IO is doing.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
IO has a Fairy Fire, a Ring of Regen, Magic Wand, Blitz Knuckles, Boots of Speed. So, off the bat, they're making an item that is not really synergizing with what their character does. Io is a strength hero or a universal hero. They have high strength.
A prize.
What is their main stat? This is a pretty rare hero. Yeah, they're a universal hero. What are they doing? Okay, so they decided not to finish the Silver Edge, and now they're getting a Force Staff. So they just have a Blitz Knuckles.
Dire structures are fortified.
The pattern is complete.
Wait, what happened? Did they just teleport to the enemy's fountain?
A dominant performance. Radiant's middle tower is being attacked. Radiant's middle tower is taking damage.
Oh! They just tried to tether the Tinker and bring them to the enemy's fountain.
Bottom tower under fire.
Well, that's a very character-specific way of griefing, isn't it? Interesting.
Middle tower is taking damage. Radiant's middle tower is being
Well, that's a new way to throw. At least the way that I haven't seen yet. Oh my goodness.
Dire's top tower is under siege. Dominating.
They're kind of doing stuff during the fights, but I want to see if they try to do it again when their ult is up.
A golden thread.
And for anyone who doesn't know Dota very well, there's no reason to ever want to go to this spot on the map. This is the spot where you take huge amounts of damage every second that you're there. It's supposed to be the enemy's safest spot on the whole map. Okay, so they're up in 3. What are they gonna do?
Radiant's top tower is being
They're already looking at the enemy's fountain. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. They're like, I could teleport over there again. I wonder if they specifically want to try to bring the Tinker. They keep trying to bring the Tinker.
I offer rare kindness. Your words are unwelcome.
Wow.
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked. Radiant have fortified their towers.
Tinker disabled help so Io can't take him. Ah.
Tower under fire. That's true. Wicked sick. 2 down.
Huh. But they can still tether to people with help disabled. What a sinister kind of ally to have. Huh. Never seen a person grief this way before. They're getting Force Staff. Surely they wouldn't use the Force Staff negatively to impact their team. And then they changed which item they're going to build. Oh no, they added on a Ghost Scepter. Did they do it again? Okay, your ult is up in 5. You're an Io, level 8. It's 8 to 26, and you have your ultimate available. The Drow also disabled help. This is good. Okay, so chat. If someone is trying to do this to you, you can disable help. I don't think I can see it here. Oh yeah, show shared unit control options. So you can disable these characters from using their abilities on you. So it's this button down here. Shared unit control options. If someone is, say, a tiny and they're throwing you into danger on purpose, if they're an Io and they're trying to teleport you to the fountain, you can prevent them from doing that. That's great. So this Io is simply dying alone in the fountain. They're trying to bring allies with them. They try to bring the Tusk. Did he disable help? He didn't! No, Tusk. Oh no. Let's go to the next ult, see what they do. 3, 2, 1.
Radiant's bottom tower is demolished. Mega
Oof. And they get chopped in half by the Chouse Knight. Bummer.
Radiant's middle tower is taking damage.
Okay, Iowa's up.
Radiant's middle
Now they have to wait for the Tusk because he's the only one so far that hasn't disabled help. Alright, Io's going in using their wispiness.
middle barracks has fallen.
Illusion!
Radiant's top tower is under siege. Oh, I did not mean that. Unstoppable.
Based on how close this game is with the Io throw, this would be a very winnable game for the Radiant if the Io wasn't doing this. Now they're just trying to buy all the team's awards. Well, I've seen enough. This is a very guilty player. At least they get 1 star for being creative and using a hero-specific way of griefing. And they showed us all the importance of disabling help. They're speedrunning 1K behavior score. Justice has been served once again! Excellent. Wow. 3 guilty gamers. Thank you all for helping officiate this griefing or not griefing. Dota gamers are very naughty, and it is important that they be thrown in jail.
Whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh no. Oh, what the fuck? Oh.
This segment is sponsored by Pretzel Wagon. Thank you, Pretzel Wagon, for your continued support.